Greetings and salutations, folks. It's me, Daniel D, with a short episode of the What's Wrong with America podcast, in which I will play devil's advocate for, maybe that's no pun intended, or maybe it's literal, depending on who you believe. The guy's got a lot of haters out there who call him everything but Satan. Maybe some people believe he is Satan. Mr. Jeff Bezos, the richest man on the planet, $200 billion and counting. And, he's probably going to get richer because his latest endeavor, Blue Ocean or whatever the hell it's called, is now the hot new commodity in space travel. He and Richard Branson have, created a new thing, billionaires, private citizens rocketing off into outer space, right? So Jeff Bezos, and I got to figure out what the hell the name of his space company is. Blue Origin. Okay, Blue Origin. So anyway, everybody's hating on Jeff Bezos. Like, everybody, And I mean, I understand, like, there are legitimate criticisms that can be made of Amazon's business model, the way they treat employees and contractors, and the way they're anti-union and all that sort of stuff, right? But the idea now that every single person in the media has lined up, behind the idea that Jeff Bezos is just a horrible person, he's like, this is what's wrong with America. If you listen to people talk, most people, it's almost like Jeff Bezos is evil personified, Satan incarnate. What's wrong with America? Jeff Bezos. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. There's criticism that can be made, but it's like, come on, man. The guy is... I'm going to try to play devil's advocate here and say, Jeff Bezos is a great man. He's accomplished some great things. He's not what's wrong with America. And maybe he's even what's right with America. I'll just say. Okay, because last week, or last episode that I did of this podcast, I criticized bankers and the financial sector in general. Basically saying bankers, the financial sector, have this outsized importance because they don't create anything. They don't create goods or services. They just, exchange money, put themselves at the middle of every financial transaction. And money, what is money? It's just standing in the place of goods or services, right? It's basically a variable. So bankers don't really create anything. And in fact, the central bank, you really could say that by creating, air quotes, money, they're really devaluing everything else. Like, it's basically a way of transferring wealth from people who do create goods and services to the financial sector, which creates nothing, right? So that's bankers. But Amazon, on the other hand, it's like there's a reason why this is the biggest online retailer, or maybe even the biggest retailer, I don't know. Certainly, if it's not, it will be soon. It's like the Walmart of the 21st century. And it's a service that, not only makes it easy to buy books and records, which is how it started out, but it's like anything you can think of. It's easy to sell online. People had create businesses selling on the Amazon marketplace. I don't know. You could say he created a service or a good, something of value that is really worth $200 billion or more, right? Well, worth a lot more than that, So I don't know who should have profited from Amazon. But here's the other thing why I want to say Jeff Bezos, really, I don't like people all just acting like there's nothing good about the guy. Look, first of all these people critiquing Jeff Bezos, they're in entertainment, they're in Hollywood, they're in media. They talk about, income inequality. That's the big buzzword. Well, is Jeff Bezos really, the worst person out there when it comes to income inequality? Let me ask you a question. Unpaid internships, where you work and don't get paid jack shit. Where do those unpaid internships happen? Is it at Amazon? Hell no. Amazon would be like, I don't know. It's like they get away with a lot, but I just can't believe that would not immediately result in the worst possible press coverage for Amazon if they had unpaid interns, basically like a step above slave labor. You're taking students or people who are trying to like get a foothold in the world, and you're like, hey, come work for us for free. And, that'll allow you to get a job where you can actually get paid, and there's no other avenues into the industry. So people kind of have to take it. Like what's an obvious model of that? The NCAA, college basketball, college football, although that may be changing now that college athletes are able to at least earn money from endorsements. But again, it's like you can't go straight to the NBA anymore without playing college ball. And to play college ball, you don't get paid. You're creating something of value that others are profiting from, but you're not. Amazon doesn't do that. Everybody that does work for Amazon gets paid. Now, what about these fields that Jeff Bezos' critics are in, right? Like entertainment, Hollywood, media. There's a lot of unpaid internships at some of this legacy media outlets, newspapers, magazines, Hollywood, the entertainment industry. Let's talk about income inequality for a minute. What industry do you think has worse income inequality than the entertainment industry, than Hollywood, and even than the media? Because you got a lot of people making nothing. And then you got a few people making a shit ton. Like, people, like, let's just take, who's a darling of the left-wing media, right? That's a Hollywood actor or actress. Alyssa Milano. I don't even know what movie she's been in, but she's just famous for getting her name out there associated with controversial issues from a left-wing perspective, right? So Alyssa Milano, right, makes a pretty she makes money hand over fist, right? What about the extras? What about the people who are like script, writers or runners or interns or assistants or whatever that work for her, that work on the movie sets or Hollywood sets that she's involved with? What percentage of her income do these people make? Like a fraction of a percent? So I'm just saying, like, if we're going to be criticizing people for income inequality, it's like the people who complain the most about that ought to start looking at their own industries. Because I'm going to say Amazon's not the worst offender when it comes to income inequality. That's number one. And number two, it's like people act as if, if I was Jeff Bezos, I would be so charitable minded. I would, devote my entire life savings to ending world hunger and blah, blah, blah. And, Jeff Bezos, I don't know. He's not all that charitable, but look at what he's doing. Of all these billionaires out there, Jeff Bezos is like, fuck it, I'm going to go to space. I can admire that. Now, I'm not saying that, it wouldn't be admirable if he was more charitable, that it wouldn't be something where it's like, hey, I got $200 billion is more money than I could ever possibly spend. I profited a lot from the coronavirus pandemic. Maybe I could set up some kind of charitable foundation to help people whose businesses were ruined by the pandemic. I don't know. I mean, he could do that, right? But how many of these people, that criticize Jeff Bezos, if they were in his shoes, if they actually had the billions of dollars, how much money would they put towards these causes? Because I would like to see, like, these people who criticize Bezos, they should release their tax returns. They should show what percentage of their income do they donate to charity, Because all these people that criticize Bezos, I mean, if they have a platform like that, they're not in the bottom, 10% of the population. They're more like in the top 10% or even top 1% or even top 0.1%, right? I mean, people that have access to like nationwide or global, platforms, be it Hollywood, be it media, whatever. I mean, they're kind of the elite, Well, put your money where your mouth is. Let's release your tax returns if you're criticizing Bezos for not being charitable enough, and let's see how much money you are donating, because surely if you're in the 1% in America, you could do something. I mean, for all the people out there who are starving or don't have enough to eat or are suffering from malnutritionist children, across the world, right? So there's that. I mean, I just kind of doubt that all these people, if they suddenly were given $200 billion, would not change their views and find some way to rationalize why, well, I may donate a little here and a little there, but, how many lottery winners, for example, donate 95% of their lottery winnings? I would guess probably none, So I'm just saying, it's human nature. The guy, maybe the tax structure should be different so that Amazon pays something in taxes. Sure. But the idea that it's like Bezos, oh, he's this horrible person because, oh my God, God forbid. It's like he takes the money that he makes from his work, from his entrepreneurial ventures, and he spends it on other entrepreneurial ventures, on doing things, like going to space. It's like, yeah, I mean, most people do that, Now, granted, most people don't have $200 billion, but, here's the other thing about Jeff Bezos. And this was, okay, compare Jeff Bezos to some of the entrepreneurs of the past. And I'll just pick one, Sam Walton, right? And Sam Walton used to be the guy that everybody loved to hate. All the left-wingers loved to criticize Walmart and the Walton family and all that, right? But lately, I guess Walmart's probably glad for the existence of Amazon because it's taking a lot of heat off of Walmart. Now, Walmart's almost seen like they're the good guys, Amazon is a new evil kid on the block who's like trying to screw everybody over, right? But what did Sam Walton do with his billions of dollars? I don't know. I mean, he really didn't do much of anything. He just worked. He just continued working. And even on his deathbed, the dude was reading like quarterly reports for Walmart. Like he was wanting, he never stepped away the way Jeff Bezos did. Like Jeff Bezos, I'm like, this guy, I mean, how unimaginative of Sam Walton to become one of the richest people in the world and do absolutely nothing, fun or exciting or interesting. At least like with Bezos, it's like, hey, the guy's got $200 billion. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to space. I'm going to build a rocket ship and I'm going to space. And here's the thing too. It's like he could have gone by himself. He's got the money. He could have just gone by himself. But he's like, no, I want to bring some people along for the ride. Hey, that's kind of admirable. Somebody who paid money for like a charitable auction. Hey, a charitable thing that Jeff Bezos did. His brother, so it just shows like he's not this asshole who forgets where he came from. It's like he keeps his ties with people, that he grew up with. And then this woman who was like, wanted to be an astronaut back in the 50s or whenever, and it's like she wasn't able to, and Jeff Bezos is like, hey, here's your chance. I'm going to take you for free. Hey, isn't that kind of nice of him? But here's the other thing, though. It's like he went to space. He's like, hey, I'm going to do something with my money. Something that's like more imaginative than just plowing ahead like, what's his name? Warren Buffett. Like what is that dude doing? He's still fucking working. Like that dude hasn't figured out anything better to do with his time than just work, like forget about making a life. I'm just going to worry about making a living, long after I have more than enough money to possibly ever spend on myself. I'm going to just keep doing that unimaginatively because I don't have a soul, right? Jeff Bezos is like, yeah, I'm going to space. I got to admire that. And on top of that, he had a good point where he's like, hey, we're in the barnstorming days of space travel. That's how airline travel started. The barnstorming is like a big deal. Somebody had a little propeller plane that they'd fly around in and it'd draw huge crowds. And it's like, oh, look at this amazing person who's flying this aircraft. How amazing is that to be able to fly? But then, within a few decades, commercial air travel, it's like everybody flies. Everybody, even the terrorists, Even the guys from fucking Afghanistan living in caves are like, hey, I want to get on an airliner for my own nefarious purposes, but I want to do it. And they are able to do it. Hey. So here's space. Jeff Bezos is like, I'm blazing the trail along with Richard Branson. And next thing you know, 20, 30 years from now, it's like commercial space travel is a thing. It's like you can just, on a whim, on a weekend, just go up to space. Or if you're a terrorist in Afghanistan, you can say, I'm going to hijack a rocket. Look at the walls that Jeff Bezos is tearing down. So all I'm saying is like all this criticism of Jeff Bezos. Come on. What's wrong with America? I don't think it's Jeff Bezos. I don't think it's Amazon. You know, you can criticize them and their business model, but I'm like, part of me, whenever you get this many people all on the same page on a single issue or topic where it's like, oh, it's obvious Jeff Bezos is the worst person ever. I'm like, no, it's not obvious, you know? You can criticize him, but to just condemn him unilaterally across the board, like the guy hasn't ever done anything good, and like what he's doing now, going to space, is just the most horrible thing you could imagine. No. It's like, good for him. He went to space. You know, if I had $200 billion, I mean, I hope I would be kind of charitable with a lot of it, you know, because that's more money than you could ever possibly spend on yourself or your next of kin for like however many generations. But, you know, some portion of it doing something like, hey, fuck it, let's go to space. Let's go to Mars. Let's go to the bottom of the ocean. Hey, if you got the money to do it, why the fuck not, you know? I mean, I gotta admire that. It's better than on his deathbed. Like, at least the dude knows how to step away from Amazon. Say, all right, the time has come. I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna build a space company. I'm gonna go to space. I'm gonna blaze a trail in creating a new industry of space travel. Good for him. Sam Walton didn't do that. Warren Buffett didn't do that. You know, Bill Gates didn't do that. Oh, I should take that back. Bill Gates did blaze some trails, you know, with air travel aboard Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. You know, going to his pleasure isle with underage girls along with Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and other folks from the elite. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Jeff Bezos and how evil he is for like making an honest living, you know, creating a valuable company, a valuable service, a valuable product. And then now saying, I'm going to go into a new industry and expand a new industry. Hey, good job, Jeff Bezos. I'm going to disagree with the majority on this. I'm going to say Jeff Bezos is a great man and definitely not what's wrong with America. So that's my 2 cents, which many people would say, you know, that's all it's worth is 2 cents, your opinion, but whatever. Fuck you. What's wrong with America? Not Jeff Bezos. So that is my opinion, and this is Daniel D. with the What's Wrong with America podcast for Saturday, July 24th, 2021. Until next time, peace out, my fellow Americans.